Part 2. You will hear a talk by an instructor called Tom Ridley at Ranford Forge.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name's Tom Ridley, and I'm one of the instructors here at Ranford Forge. In a minute, we'll head into the hot area, but before we do, I'll give you a short introduction to blacksmithing. Then I'll show you the main equipment, and after that, you'll have a go at shaping a simple metal hook. People sometimes assume blacksmithing is all about brute strength, but it's actually more like problem solving. One way it differs from, say, carving or painting is that you can often correct errors. If a bend is in the wrong place, you don't throw the piece away, you reheat it, straighten it, and try again. I mean, you can ruin it if you overheat it, but most small mistakes are fixable. Metal objects also tell us a surprising amount about earlier societies. When archaeologists find an old iron tool, they don't rely only on the outline because shapes get distorted over time. Instead, they look for clues on the surface, polished patches where hands repeatedly gripped it, tiny dents from repeated impact, or traces of soot showing it was used near fire. Those marks can indicate whether something was a kitchen tool, a farming implement, or part of a doorway. As for why people come here, it varies. A few arrive wanting to make something that looks medieval, but we keep today's session practical rather than decorative. More often, people come because they want to find a craft they might actually be good at. They'll tell me they've never been creative, and then they make a neat curve on the first attempt, and suddenly they're hooked. No pun intended. What I enjoy most about this job is the calm focus it demands. Once you're watching the color of the metal and listening to the sound of the hammer, everything else fades out. It's not that I love the mess or the noise, to be honest. It's that feeling of being completely absorbed. Now, most visitors are absolute beginners, so we'll go step by step. If you've seen dramatic videos online of people making swords in an afternoon, forget that. Today is about control and safety, not speed. Speaking of safety, before we go in, please remove jewelry, rings, bracelets, watches, and especially long necklaces. They can heat up or catch as you work. Tie back long hair as well. We'll give you protective aprons and gloves inside, so you don't need to change clothes, but do keep sleeves fitted. Inside the workshop, you'll see our forge. I'll explain what it does. It heats the metal evenly so it can be shaped without cracking. And if you're wondering what people do when they don't have a full forge at home, many hobbyists use a shared workshop like this one, paying for short sessions instead of buying all the kit. Finally, tools. Don't feel you need to bring anything today. We provide the basic set for everyone, and I'll show you which ones are essential for a first session. A hammer, a pair of tongs, and a wire brush for cleaning the surface between heats. Right, let's go through.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Harbour Line Aquarium. I'm Megan Price, and I look after volunteer training. Thanks for coming in. Some of you are here because you enjoy marine life, and some because you want a practical weekend role. Either way is fine. I'll go through the main volunteer tasks, then I'll mention our biggest events, what we look for in volunteers, and the training dates, finishing with our annual thank you activity. During normal opening hours, we place volunteers in the entrance hall. That's where visitors arrive checking maps, asking where the toilets are, or whether there's a lift. Your job is to keep things moving, direct people to the right area, and stop a queue building up, especially when a coach group arrives. Next are the feeding talks. These take place in different zones: seals, rays, and the reef tank. Staff run the talk, but volunteers help before and after. You hand out information cards, and you remind people where the next talk will be. Some visitors assume they need a separate ticket for the talk. Just to be clear, they don't, so you can reduce questions at reception. We also run school workshops on weekday mornings. You don't need to teach science, but you do need to manage the group, keep children together, make sure nobody wanders off, and help them follow instructions, particularly around water and wet floors. It's mainly supervision. Another activity is our touch pool sessions, where visitors can gently touch certain animals, like starfish, under staff guidance. Volunteers support the staff by setting up the area and checking everything is ready: towels, water testing strips, and the simple signage. It sounds minor, but if one item is missing, the session gets delayed. We also have an Adopt an Animal desk near the gift shop. This isn't hard selling, but it is about encouraging visitors to support the aquarium's conservation projects. People often ask where the money goes, so you'll have a short script and a leaflet. It's mostly answering questions and letting people decide. Finally, there's the online side. We post updates about talk times, new arrivals, and behind-the-scenes images. Volunteers don't need marketing qualifications, but we do need help choosing suitable photos and writing short, clear captions. Right, events. We run 3 big ones each year: the Shark Sleepover, the Coastal Careers Day, and the Winter Lights Trail. They're all busy, but the one needing the largest volunteer team is the Shark Sleepover. It runs overnight, there are several activity stations, and we need extra people for safety and group management. What matters most for new volunteers isn't expert knowledge. You can learn the basic facts. The key quality is reliability, turning up when you've said you will, and following procedures. Now, training dates. The first induction session is in the week starting the 6th of May. Sorry, that's the staff training week. For volunteers, it's the week starting the 13th of May. Induction is one evening, and then you choose a short shadow shift. And finally, our thank you event. Last year we did a restaurant meal, but this year we're doing a behind-the-scenes tour after closing time, including areas the public never sees. We'll send sign-up details once you've completed your first shift.
Part 2. You will hear a member of staff giving a short talk about changes at a public library and guiding visitors around a floor plan.
Hi everyone, I'm Martin from Visitor Services at Northgate Library. Just to avoid confusion, today isn't about membership payments or volunteering. It's simply a quick briefing on how you can still use the building during the renovation, and then I'll guide you through the floor plan so you can find the key areas. So, why are we changing the layout? Some people assume it's mainly because the children's area needs expanding, and we are improving that later, but that's not the core issue. Others say it's the heating, which can be unreliable in winter, but again, that's not what triggered this redesign. The real reason is crowding at the entrance. At busy times, people stop just inside the door to return books, check their phones, or wait for help, and the main route through the building becomes blocked. Most services will continue. Borrowing books will remain open, and returns will stay available too. In fact, we're adding extra drop slots. However, printing and photocopying will be unavailable for the first 2 weeks. We considered keeping one machine running, but the wiring work means that whole section has to be switched off. People have also asked how we're paying for the digital studio equipment. At first, we thought we might cover it through room hire income. Sorry, I should say that was one suggestion, but the equipment is actually funded by a national grant that was approved earlier this year. And the Saturday workshops, they won't be cancelled, and they won't be online only. Instead, they'll move to another building nearby, the community centre across the road, until the renovation is finished. Before I talk you through the map, one important rule for today's walkthrough. Please stay with the group. Some routes are temporarily narrowed and it's easy to take the wrong turn. Now, look at the floor plan. You are at the entrance at the bottom and the main walkway runs straight up the centre. The self-service returns are in Area A, just inside the building along that central route. First, the IT help desk. Walk forward from A along the main walkway. You might expect it to be on the left-hand side because the left rooms appear first. Sorry, that's misleading. The IT help desk is on the right side in the lower row of rooms. That is C. Next, the events hall. From C, go up towards the top of the plan, not all the way to the very top, but to the upper middle. The events hall is directly above C on the right side. That's E. Now the local records room. From E, head further up to the top row. The local records room is on the right at the top. Sorry, I should clarify. It's the top right room, not the one on the top left. That's F. Finally, the quiet study booths. From F, move across to the opposite side of the building at the top. The quiet study booths are in the top left room, which is G. You'll notice the reference desk and display area in the middle left, room B, and the digital studio below that on the left, D, but those aren't the stops we're focusing on today. That's everything I needed to cover. Any questions?
Part 2. You will hear a woman giving a welcome talk at a repair fair.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Renford Repair Fair. I'm Joanne Fielding, and I'm coordinating the event today. Before you head off to the work areas, I'll run through a few quick points for anyone who's come with children, explain how we're managing turn-taking this year, and then, because we're doing a theme day, I'll share a brief timeline of organised repair. First, families. Children are very welcome, but please be aware that the corner where we test small motors can be surprisingly loud, and some children find it unpleasant. If you think that might be an issue, you can borrow ear defenders from the information desk. We've also set up a simple activity to keep children occupied while adults are waiting. It's a little scavenger-style challenge where they pick up a card, locate 5 labelled parts placed around the hall, and collect a stamp at each point. It keeps them moving safely rather than gathering around the benches. And if your child wants to try using tools, that's fine, but please stay right alongside them. Now, the way you join a repair table has changed. We're not running one long line. When your item is registered at the logging desk, you'll be given a number. Keep an eye on the display above the stage. When your number comes up, it means a space is ready. If you don't want to keep watching the screen, you can choose to receive a text message. Just tick the box when you sign in. There's one more change. We've added a short Diagnose First desk. They won't fix anything there, so it's not a quick repair lane, but they will help you identify the problem so you don't spend time at the wrong station. A quick word about money. The advice is free, and if a part is needed, you'll be told the cost before anything is fitted. You might have heard that we were introducing a compulsory charge this year, but we decided against that. Donations are welcome, but they're entirely optional. Finally, our theme today is Repair Through Time, so here are a few milestones. In 1798, a major encyclopedia of practical trades began presenting household fixes in language aimed at ordinary readers rather than specialists. By 1841, railway workshops were promoting interchangeable components, which helped make repairs faster and cheaper. After a rise in domestic accidents, 1926 saw home wiring guidance taken up far more widely. Then, in 1973, consumer protection rules were strengthened, giving clearer rights to repairs and replacements. Much more recently, around 2012, community repair cafes expanded quickly, making public repair sessions common. And by 2018, several councils were trialling right-to-repair schemes in partnership with local charities. That's everything from me. If you need help, look for volunteers wearing green badges. Otherwise, please take your item to the logging desk and enjoy the fair.
Part 2. You will hear a guide talking to a group of visitors about the Rooftop Allotments tour at Bramley Gate Centre.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Rooftop Allotments tour at Bramley Gate Centre. I'm Callum and I'll be your guide for the next 40 minutes. Before we go up, a quick safety note. The roof is fenced, but please don't lean on the railings if it's windy. Also, keep to the main paths because some parts near the planting beds are narrow. The main special feature here is the water collection system. Rainwater is collected from the roof, stored in tanks, filtered, and then sent to taps around the plots. If you're thinking of renting a plot, there are 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. The small one is mainly for herbs, and the large one is good if you want fruit bushes. But most visitors choose the medium plot because it offers good value. You can take photos during the tour, but please don't photograph other gardeners close up unless you ask them first. Now we'll take the lift up together. When we come out at the lift exit at the top of the map, you'll be facing down the central path. First, we'll walk straight down the central path and then turn left into the west side. Keep going until you reach a raised platform in the upper left area. That's the viewing deck. After that, we'll go back to the central path and walk up again towards the lift. Then we'll turn right into the northeast corner. The large building there is the Education House. Next to the Education House, there's a smaller locked room. That's the tool shed. It is kept locked and only staff have the key. Then we'll return to the central path and walk down again. When we come down the central path again, look to the left in the southwest section. The tool bays are right in the far corner at the very end beside the outer fence. The compost bays are not in the corner. They're a little higher up on the same west side, just above the tool bays, next to the plots area. So remember, tool bays are in the corner and compost bays are above them, next to the plots. Finally, we'll cross over to the southeast and visit the greenhouse, which is the large building there. Inside that area, you can also see the water glass. Right, if everyone's ready, let's head to the lift now.